G'day. You know how everything comes in threes, either really good, really bad. This week it was really good. So the first good thing is with my keys, I never found the keys, they're gone forever, gone. But I went to, I eventually ended up at a locksmith and they were very, very helpful, great sense of humour, all that team, very good at what they do. They broke into a couple of locks upon my request and they pulled a few apart and they made up keys for everything in the RV, which is fantastic. Very pleased about that. Second good thing is I went up to West Glacier. Now I couldn't believe the difference between West Glacier and East Glacier. They're almost like two absolutely different tourist spots. Loved it up there and I did a tour. It was Tour to the Sun, I think it is, or Road to the Sun or something similar to that, and that was great fun. Peter was the driver and tour operator, and we had a good laugh all the way up, and I can understand why they don't recommend anything, RVs or any unit bigger than 21 foot, because there was times even he was put under pressure, so I'm glad I wasn't driving. That was a great day out. And the third thing is the Montana News came and interviewed me all about my travels around America and around Australia, so I was thrilled about that. Anywho, that's all on this video, so let's go check it out. So I'm a happy man. I've got a key for the water thing, key for the door, key for the boot, and it's unlocked my secret hideaway, so all good. Thank you, boys. Hopefully you can see that sign. Shield, arms, guns and coffee. Best to remember, if you've got a high roof like mine, which is most RVs, stick to the right, otherwise you'll rip the air conditioner off going under the roof. Hi. Hey. A48, A50, that's my site tomorrow, on the left hand side. Now I have to race a little bit, not race, but have to get pretty mobile to get out of the park, because the park's fully booked and I've got to get out of the park and park in the bush somewhere. The end of the day is here, and so I've got myself a nice little spot. I tried to get into the national park, but they were fully booked, like totally booked. There was two major camps here in the West Glacier, but I couldn't get into either. So I've decided to come out here in the National Forest, and I think I probably drove a mile up this road. I was using iOverlander, the app, and yeah, perfect. It says I'm allowed to stay in the area for a maximum of 6 days. I only wanted one. Now, I don't think I've ever explained it to you, so it's probably pretty important you know. You have national park. Now, in the national parks, you cannot just go and pull over the side of the road or just go up a little gravel road and camp. You totally cannot do that. And you'll definitely get a ticket if you do. Whereas the national forest, which is what I'm in at the moment, they've got all different rules. So pretty much you can camp in the national forest so long as you're a certain distance off the road and you're not impeding anybody else's travel. Today I managed to give the van a bit of a tub, so it came up pretty well. The other thing I did, what was literally a 5-minute job, ended up being just over 2 hours, was I blew a light globe in the lights in the RV. So I thought I'd just pop into Walmart, grab a light globe, pop it in, boom, thank you, slam bam, thank you ma'am. However, it wasn't quite that easy, and because they've got this little wire clip that when you've got to pull it out, it's a long story. Anyway, it took me about 2 hours, and any mechanic will just laugh his head off because there's no way known should changing a light globe take that long, but there you go. This is the campground I stayed in West Glacier, and it's reservation only. I'm now off to West Glacier to go on a tour, the Red Bus Tour.
On our way up here, we're going to drive through a whole bunch of aspen trees. These are just starting to change colors as well.
This is about that 21-foot thing.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to start driving along the garden wall up towards Logan Pass, and the views will just get better and better. Officially opened in 1933. This section up here took about 8 years for them to build it. One of their biggest difficulties was keeping enough people on their workforce. People would come up here to work and they wouldn't stick around for very long. This was before OSHA or any of our modern construction tools, so it was very dangerous. Over those 8 years, there was 3 deaths. Oh, what's the share lanes?
This is the tallest part of the tour, so I'm up at Logan Pass, and this is the Eastern Valley behind me, and strangely enough there's no tourists around, so major bonus. I'll just give you a bit of a look around here. It is really quite amazing, and then if I've got time I'll run over to the other side and we'll film that as well. I'm at the beginning or end of Hidden Garden Trail. So it's about 1.5 miles or 2.5 kilometres, so I won't be doing it, so we're going to get back to the tour bus. But as you can see, it's pretty impressive. Looks like I'm not the only person that walked up here. I just got up here. It's 2.3 miles, or around about 3.5 kilometres, I think. It's almost one of my first hikes. I felt obliged to at least put in the effort. This is Avalanche Lake, absolutely outstanding, and you can see a couple of waterfalls there. Can't find a name for it, but it's probably not that important. Now, over that mountain is the road I took the other day on the tour. So as the tour took me up towards the Sun Road, that's just on the other side. And as someone pointed out just now, if I had have taken that tour right now, today, I would have got stuck up in the clouds and I'd probably see almost nothing. So, lucky. Thought I'd give you a heads up now. I wanted to go horse riding here in Glacier, and unfortunately they were booked up for the next couple of days, and I really couldn't afford, in my opinion, couldn't afford the time to stay and wait. Now you can either book it in Glacier, in West Glacier, or you can go just out into the National Forest, and there's a visitor centre there and you can book it there, but you will be doing a different thing. So I kind of really wanted to do it in Glacier, but it would have been through the creeks and all that sort of stuff. And I'll list at the end of the video just the cost and how much it was. I hope it looks like it's a miserable day, because it is.
Turn right.
Paul Wheel Drive is a travel vlogger with thousands of YouTube subscribers. His goal is to show people how to travel the road on a budget around the country, and he does so in a kilt. Paul stopped by Great Falls on his trip with his 2003 VW Winnebago Rialta. 4 years ago, he decided to drive around Australia. Now he's got a 6-month visa to do the same in the United States and is documenting the whole way. Every video ends with the same information: how much in fuel, how much in accommodation, how long it takes to get there, and how far it really is.
I really didn't find much in the way of tourist offices, not in California anyway. So I thought, well, that definitely reminds me why I came here, to make up what I made in Australia for Americans.
Paul's travels can be found on his YouTube page, Paul Wheel Drive, as he documents his trip in a kilt.
If you decide to be a travel vlogger, you gotta do something to set you apart from the hundreds of others. If you're Paul, that means leaning into your Scottish lineage.
I thought, well, that would make me a little bit different to the other 10,000 people.
So, for nearly 4 years, Paul has been wearing a kilt.
Just gives me a bit of an idea, people who are trying to find me on YouTube, a bit of an idea, oh yeah, he's the guy with the kilt.
Paul is a van life vlogger, which is exactly what it sounds like. He films his life living out of a 2003 VW Winnebago Rialta.
It is my accommodation, my home, my recluse, the whole thing.
Paul has traveled around the world twice, and 4 years ago decided to travel around Australia, creating YouTube videos to help people learn tips and tricks when traveling on the road. Every video ends with the same information. How much in fuel, how much in accommodation, how long it took me to get there, and how far it really was, because Google will sometimes say, oh, it's 500 miles and it's going to take, I don't know, 4.5 hours. 7 hours later you think, oh really, I must be getting close. After 3 years touring Australia, Paul got a 6-month visa and decided to help Americans out.
I really didn't find much in the way of tourist offices, not in California anyway. So I thought, well, that definitely reminds me why I came here, to make up what I made in Australia for Americans.
So if you've ever wanted to strike out and do some van living on your own, let the man with the kilt show you how.
It's not always pretty, but that isn't the point.
The real joy of travel isn't being at a place, although there's obviously benefits of it. It's just the travel itself.
Even if that means living in a 22-foot, 20-year-old RV.
Now this is a classic. This is the shower and toilet.
Paul finds the space is plenty large. Does it ever feel cramped, or is it enough for one person?
I think it'd be fine for two, but I've never really had two to be traveling with. But like for one, it's just perfect.
If you want to try this for yourself, Paul says to rent the house and the equipment. And if you are with a partner, prepare for a somewhat rude awakening.
Now, they might have been married for 20 years and think they know each other really, really well. But suddenly when you're in this room, it's just like, get out of me, get out of me.
It's not financially viable, it's not especially luxurious, but it will give you memories and experiences that last a lifetime and are priceless. In Great Falls, I'm Tommy Lynch, MTN News.
Well, there you have it. Another fun week on the road in America. It was quite exciting to have the television cameras to come out and film me for the news that night. That was very exciting. And it was great now to have all the keys back in the RV so I can lock and unlock and not have to worry about the security of the RV. And finally, that was so exciting going up to on the Road to the Sun tour in the old-fashioned red bus with Peter, our driver, who was quite entertaining and very informative. Now, if you found the video useful, helpful and or entertaining, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, that would be great if you did. And if you think the video is worth sharing, that too would be great. And until next time, this is Paul Wheel Drive signing off.